Hey everyone, I just want to welcome you back and thank you for joining us again this week as we look at another episode in the Limitless Outdoors. This week what we're looking at is a hunt that Shane and I were on in western Alaska last fall. The primary focus of this hunt was a moose hunt, but we also had a bear tag in our pocket and we were looking at some bear-rich country. We saw several black bears before we found one that Shane wanted to take, and I hope you enjoy the journey on this hunt as much as we enjoyed taking it.
You know where you're going? We've made a long climb. The bugs are bad. The alder was horrid. But now we got this big basin. We're going to camp out here. We're going to be able to watch this and the next basin on the other side of this hill. So maybe we'll get to see a moose. We just spotted 3 grizzlies over there. Right out there in the middle.
After 4 days of hard hunting and passing up a lot of bears, we found a bear that Shane thought he'd probably be happy with. While we were cooking dinner, we got to watch all the animals. We were watching black bear and moose and wolverine and grizzlies. It was an amazing sight and an amazing place.
What do you think, Shane? You having fun yet?
I don't know if you say it was fun, but it's been getting real quiet and a good time is starting to be had.
I'm enjoying it.
Look at this here. It just is it's the life I always wanted to live.
Well, finally got a great bull spotted. He's right back behind me there. And we've seen 3 grizzly bears and a black bear up in this canyon, so it is just a gorgeous night. I have been dreaming about finding a basin like this my whole life in Alaska. I finally found one. It's awesome. So we know there's moose in here. There's lots of animal activity. I think we're gonna take one in the next day or two. So pretty exciting. We're gonna turn in for the night. We flew today, so can't hunt today. Otherwise we'd have that bull dead. And it's probably 9 o'clock at night right now. Never ending up here.
He's been all day long feeding up.
There's a bear up there. I don't know if it wanted or not yet, but I'll go take a look up which way the wind's blowing down on us.
We'll just sneak up there and see if we can like him.
If he looks good, we're close. We don't need a bear, so if he's not real nice, we'll Get out moose hunting.
We're stalking in on a bear, and Shane needs to take time to comb his beard.
I gotta look good for the camera here. I got my hat on representing our Lord, because without him this trip wouldn't have been possible. So we're ready to go.
All right. Whoa. That's awesome video.
You like that?
Yeah. Really good.
Over the years, I've made a couple of observations when it comes to hunting, and especially when it comes to a hunt like being in Alaska and you're going somewhere far off that you've never been before. There's really two elements, there's two principles that lead to the success of a hunt. Number one being faith, and the other one being diligence. Faith, it takes faith to get to Alaska. When you're talking about a place that you've never been, you're relying on research that you've done and people that you've talked to, and you're just hoping that everything's going to come together. This is a faith that it requires to go to a place like that, and that's what gets us there is faith. But the reward doesn't happen, the animal doesn't get taken unless when you get there you are diligent. And so it's really these two elements that are working together. Here's what I've seen. I've been to Alaska a number of times, and I've seen camp after camp where people have stepped out by faith. They've spent the money, they've taken the vacation days, they've traveled all the way to Alaska, they get all the way out there in the middle of nowhere, and then they just sit in their camp and they wait for an opportunity to present itself that just never materializes. But the people that are successful, what happens is they show up by faith, and then by their diligence, they put boots on the ground and they walk through basin after basin. They glass for hour after hour, and they make a successful play, and they receive the reward. You see, faith brings you to the place. Diligence brings you the reward once you're there. And the same is really true of our walk with Jesus. You see, in Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 6, it says, without faith, it is impossible to please God. For he who comes to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. Now here's our two principles in play in our faith. That it takes faith. You can't even approach God. You can't even enter into a saving relationship with God without faith, believing that he is God. Okay, that's the first part. That's bringing us to Alaska. That's bringing us to Christ, is believing that he's God. But he is a rewarder also of those who diligently seek him. This is where the boots are on the ground, the diligence. And the reward that we talk about are all the promises of God ultimately here and now. Jesus says, I came to give life and to give it abundantly. He talks about giving us peace that surpasses understanding. He talks about giving us a purpose and a plan for our life. And all of those things aren't realized without diligence, without putting the miles in, without putting the work in. Now, what does that have to do with any of us? Well, here's how I believe it really relates to us, is that churches are full of people who have a very fruitless faith, who are frustrated because it's just Christianity and church is just something that we cross off, that it's something that we do, but it doesn't have any reward to it. And it's not that we do it for the reward, but God does want to reward us. And let me ask you this question. If your faith feels fruitless, if it seems like day after day, Sunday after Sunday, nothing is happening and you're not experiencing these things that God talks about, let me ask you this. Are you chasing hard after God? As hard as you chase after an animal, are you chasing after God that hard? Because that is when our faith becomes a fruitful walk, and that there is reward to it, and there's significance to it, and there's purpose to our life. That's when it happens, is when we are chasing hard after God, when we are diligent. You know, if you're just sitting in church, if your Bible is just sitting on its shelf and you're expecting God to do mighty things in your life, that's the same principle as thinking that you can travel all the way to Alaska and just sit there and camp and that you're going to have this amazing hunt. Look, the reward belongs to those who are diligent. The amazing and abundant life that Jesus promises belongs to those who are diligent. So I just want to ask you today, are you diligently pursuing the Lord? Are you chasing after him with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength? Look, it takes faith to approach the Lord, but the reward, the fullness of life now, the abundant life right now, depends on your diligence. And I just want to challenge you today to be diligent. God bless you all, and have a wonderful day. I just want to take a moment and thank you all for watching. If you didn't know it, this black bear hunt is actually part of the whole moose hunt, and you can check that out by clicking the link that's on your screen. I'm going to put that here. Also, if you want to stay up to date with everything going on, make sure you click that subscribe button so you know when we release another video. You can follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, and if the Lord is leading you to do it and you're blessed by this ministry, I encourage you to go over to patreon.com/limitlessoutdoors and partner with us. God bless you all and have a wonderful day.